Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we're going to be talking undervalued players. On Wednesday's episode, we talked about overvalued players. So we thought we'd switch it up and see the guys we actually kind of like, where they're going. And as I was doing this list, I think I went a little deep on a couple. One of them I think is really deep actually on my list. So it'll be interesting. I have no idea again where you're going to go, Jeff. I have no idea how you're going to feel about some of my names on here, but we'll go over all that. But first, make sure you guys go check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet or Instagram, Fantasy Football Prophet. If you have any questions for us, we'll definitely try to read your questions on the air as we get going here throughout the preseason. So send us an email at fantasyfootballprophet@gmail.com. All right, let's go 5-1. Who's your number 5 most undervalued player going into 2019?
Number 5, I'm actually going to go with, I never thought I would say this, but I went pretty deep on a lot of these guys, maybe a little too deep, but I feel like a Buffalo Bill has to be worthwhile. And right now, I know there's a debate on which one you should go for, but I think it's Zay Jones is going so late in all of these drafts. Last year, he really did a nice job of breaking out. He had over 100 targets. He's finally kind of putting it together. I know that you have Brown. You also have, Foster as well. But I think that him, just based on the fact they're going to have to throw the ball, they do have quite a bit more confidence in Allen than they did last year. Defenses have to key on him running the ball a bit more. Zay Jones seems like a little more of the safe option. I see Foster as like the boom bust kind of guy, and I don't really know what Brown's going to be in that offense quite yet. So I put Zay Jones here basically because he might go undrafted in a lot of these, and I think that he's definitely worth a flyer in late rounds.
He's my number 3.
Oh, wow.
We actually had, and it's because he's so low. He's 75th ranked, going as the 78th in the draft right now. He's going behind like Ted Ginn, which why? Right, Mohamed Sanu. Really. And this isn't, I don't for sure know what he's going to be, but he showed promise at the end of last year. And this is where I think he's almost, if this was another player who didn't have, Zay Jones had, his expectations got a little bit too high starting his rookie year, I feel like. But he was a guy that we kind of looked at his college numbers because they were so just ridiculous. If I remember right, he was catching like 140 balls or something insane. And so we kind of just liked the potential there. And then he didn't really do anything his rookie year. But you know what? Rookie receivers don't do things a lot.
And he also got dropped in the crappiest position of all time.
But from his rookie year as 22-year-old to his second year as a 23-year-old, he made a good jump. Went to 56 catches, 652 yards, 7 touchdowns. So, this is one thing I'm not going to say he's as good as this player. I'm not saying he's as good as Chris Godwin, okay? But they both played 2 seasons, and he's not. Chris Godwin has a better yards per catch. That's where Chris Godwin is better. He's a much better yards per catch. But Zay Jones, we knew that going in. Zay Jones was going to be a possession guy, catches a lot of balls. But the numbers aren't too crazy different. So his rookie year, Zay Jones had 27 catches for 316. So Godwin had 34 for 525. More yards. Godwin's always going to have more yards, but touchdowns are similar. 2 for Jones, 1 for Godwin. Last year, Jones went 56 for 652 and 7 touchdowns. Godwin went 59 for 842 and 7 touchdowns. So Godwin's always going to be a little bit more yardage. But this isn't that off for fantasy numbers. The yardage, that's over a course of a season. He's getting, 200, not even 200 more yards. So he's just getting, 20 more points over the course of an entire season, which is just over a point a game, basically. That's not crazy that much. So why these two players have a 58 position difference is crazy to me. 58 positions between the two of them. Jones isn't that far away. He's not Chris Godwin. I do think Chris Godwin's more talented. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Zay Jones equals Chris Godwin. But Zay Jones should be more like maybe 20 spots behind 20 behind Godwin, not 50. So, I think he's just so far down the list. And yeah, I might pick him up as a flyer in some drafts in the late round, as in the last round. I think that's where you can get him. So yeah, he's my number 3. You're number 5. So I guess I should go with my number 5. I don't think you're going to buy this one. It's a wide receiver. I'm doing it again, Jeff. Davante Parker.
God, man, why? Why do you even you're gonna say his name 3 times? He's gonna pop up like Candyman. Why in the world?
I knew you would not buy this one.
He has disappointed us every season, but I will listen to the reasoning behind it.
I don't know what to say. The funny thing is, I typed Davante Parker's name. I was just trying to get some, his numbers were terrible last year, honestly. But
he was banged up. I mean,
yeah, he was. So he didn't quite get there. But the funny thing is, I get one of the headlines is the annual Davante Parker shines in May, ready for breakout report is out now. That is true. But so Davante Parker, I mean, he's going to be in his 5th year now. So yes, it's probably past him, right? He did start to show some promise in year 2 and year 3, but the injuries were there last year. It wasn't as good. But maybe with a new coaching staff, new quarterback, there's a fresh start for him. And this is all it is. It's not. He's being drafted as the 69th wide receiver right now on the list. That's it. It's just he's so far down the list where, you know what? You might just take one last flyer on him. And I think this guy's talented. I really still think he is. I know I feel like I'm crazy talking about this, but I don't think he should be going behind. Well, right now he's going one spot behind Josh Gordon. Or is Josh Gordon even going to play? That doesn't seem like it. But he's behind Randall Cobb, which Randall Cobb's done.
Yeah, he's absolutely.
He's
done.
behind Kenny Stills, which same team. I just don't think Stills can do it. He's behind even Demaryius Thomas. I think Demaryius Thomas is done. I don't think we're going to see anything from Demaryius Thomas on the Patriots. He's behind all these rookies. I guess people just don't buy Parker. I get it. I know why you don't. But you know what? In a deeper league, I might take one last chance. Because you know what? You absolutely are spending nothing to take that chance. So just maybe you're going to hear some good things about Parker here, I think. I feel like you will. I think you're going to get some, here's Davante Parker kills it at practice with new QBs.
Every year.
Yep. So, yes, don't go too crazy. Yes, this isn't me. Just go out and get Davante Parker. I'm not telling you that. Just keep an eye on Davante Parker because just maybe, he can actually live up to that potential and that talent.
Where is he going right now?
He's 69th wide receiver.
Okay. I mean, he is very, very low.
Very, very low.
Yeah. My God, he burned me so many times, though.
Me too. I think I still have him on my dynasty team, so right. I need it to happen.
All right. So
number 4.
You had in number 5. Number 4. I don't usually do this, but I'm actually putting a rookie wide receiver on here, and
Interesting.
I really do think that DK Metcalf at wide receiver number 56, ESPN is number 67, so it's even lower. It's too intriguing to have that low. And once again, rookie is raw coming in, but I really do believe that he fell into the best possible position, best possible team that he could. And look, Baldwin is done. So that means Tyler Lockett is the number 1 now. And the only other 2 guys there that he has to overcome in order to be an absolute starter almost every single play is Jaron Brown, who's a 29-year-old wide receiver that never really put it together, and David Moore, who did flash some good things. But DK Metcalf gives them what they do not have. Lockett is a speed guy, but Metcalf is a physical freak that can go up and get the ball. I think that they can use him in the red zone. I think that they can just throw it to him short and see what he can do on the ground. And they're going to have to throw the ball. I know that they're run heavy at times, but they're going to have to throw the ball because that defense is a little bit rebuilding. And no one is better at extending a play than Russell Wilson. And when you have that guy running around and he is number 3 wide receiver or number 2, you're not going to be locking in on him like you are everyone else. And look what Tyler Lockett was able to do on that team last year. He never could put it together. He's 5'10", 182 pounds. He does have speed. I liked Lockett for a long time, but he never really showed out until last year. And what was he? He finished the number 11th wide receiver. He caught 10 touchdowns. There's a lot of room for Metcalf, even if he doesn't do it immediately, to be very productive.
I don't 100% know what to think about Metcalf yet. The potential is all there.
No one does, but that's why.
That's where I'm just like, I guess don't know. But yeah, that's again, if he's the 56th ranked wide receiver, he's one spot below Emmanuel Sanders. I just want nothing to do with Emmanuel Sanders.
No,
you can take Metcalf there all day, right? He's behind Devin Funchess. Going to take Metcalf all day over Devin Funchess, right? I mean, I get it. He's an interesting player because I just don't know what to think. But if he is that number 2 there, I mean, how is that not a good position? And Tyler Lockett, I'm not all the way sold on Tyler Lockett yet. I'm intrigued. He had some decent numbers, but I'm not all the way there on Tyler Lockett yet either. Not like 19th good like he is, which I even have him up there, I guess. But I'm just not sold on it yet. Metcalf could definitely do something here. It's going to be interesting. I just don't know what to 100% think about him yet. So, yeah, I like the pick because he is just so far down there. All right, go to my number 4. And so I mainly put this because I'm not really drafting him right now, and maybe I should, but it's more of a, I don't think you can. How can we keep counting this guy out? Because every time we've counted him out, he just goes and shows us we're idiots and he still can play. It's Adrian Peterson, because he is now the 49th running back off the board. Everyone is just assuming Darius Geis is just going to come in there, take the job. Peterson's an afterthought. But I mean, so Geis is going right now as the 29th running back, and Peterson's going 20 spots later. Not so so you got Geis coming off ACL. And you got Peterson, who is one of the greatest running backs of all time, and who honestly he's slowed down, but he's still really good. He ran for over 1,000 yards last year, just coming off the street in the preseason. I mean, he literally got signed during one of our drafts we had going. I remember because somebody drafted him during our draft. It was like mid-August. I just think we're completely just throwing him away and just disregarding him completely, and maybe we shouldn't. It's Adrian Peterson. Look what he's done. Look what he did when he went to Arizona. We thought he was done too, and he just plays well. He just is still a good running back. Knows what to do. He himself thinks he can run for 2,000 yards this year, which is a little crazy. But I don't think we should just disregard him so much like this. So yeah, 49th behind Darrell Henderson, Deontay Foreman, Ito Smith, Dion Lewis, Jalen Samuels, Austin Eckler. They're all ahead of him right now.
I really like that pick. I didn't even consider him. He's so far down. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to make of what Washington is going to do in the backfield. But really, if you look at it, he's the only guy that was left standing. I mean, even the guy they drafted, that's where Love went, right? I mean, even him, he's coming off injury. Geis is coming off injury. AP has got to look like the starter right away. So, I mean, what if you do get 4 or 5 weeks of him dominating the touches? And you get him for nothing, right?
He had 250 carries last year.
He's a lot. I mean, it is. It's crazy.
Well, he had over 1,000 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. He's not amazing, but there's plenty of guys who are down there. Plenty of good running backs who he's at the very least, I think him and Geis are in a 50-50 split. I don't think. That's why I'm staying away from Geis a lot. I don't think Peterson's done. I don't think this guy's done. And I mean, really think about it. The only year in Minnesota, his last full season in Minnesota, he had 1485 for yardage that year. And then he came back. The next year, he only played 3 games. So really, who knows? What's that anyway? And then he went to the Arizona, New Orleans split, Washington, that was his first real season playing again since his 1,400-yard season. I don't think he's really not that. Maybe he's not done. Maybe we just overlooked it and he's some kind of freak here. He is a freak.
Well, everyone knows that. He is absolutely a freak.
So he's going to be 34 years old. Maybe he's not done.
He might not be. And even more so, to your point, with the injuries that they have and them, kind of rebuilding in a way. I mean, you have Haskins now. You have guys. You have Love in the backfield. Both of those guys have to be on the mend. Why wouldn't you, let AP finish out his career on a high point and just give him a ton of work while you let your young guys get healthy and save them for the years to come?
Yeah, there's no reason not to just ease Geis back into it after an ACL. There's no need at all to give him any kind of heavy workload. So just give it to Peterson.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick a lot.
All right, so we'll go with your number 3.
My number 3, you're going to laugh at this one. I don't know. Maybe I took some crazy pills. Maybe I just really, I want my hunch to be correct. And you actually mentioned him. For some reason, I think Devin Funchess.
Man, I don't know.
Could be a very, very interesting player. Right now, he's wide receiver 51. ESPN, he's number 61. But look at this. And it's more about, I think he is a good wide receiver. I don't think he's anything special. But where he is going, I mean, he's in Indianapolis right now. You're going from Cam Newton, who is a good football player, to Luck, who is a great quarterback. And let me pull up him real quick here. But, I mean, you look at his numbers, and he's done it before. So 2017, he had a good year, right? He caught 63 balls, 840 yards for 8 touchdowns. And this guy is 6'4", I'm sorry. He could be that possession wide receiver that they could use opposite of T.Y. Hilton. And right now, because of how much he has played, he's not an old guy either. So, I mean, was he 20? He's 25. He's going to be 25 this year. He's kind of in his prime because he was raw coming in anyway, and he's a larger guy. They throw a ton, and there's a lot of touchdowns to go around. And really, the only person he has to beat out is Chester Rogers, who had a good year last year, but I don't really think is anything special as well. And on top of that, if you look at his catch percentage, which is, I know, kind of a bizarre stat to throw out there, but this is my point. You're playing with Cam Newton, who is a wonderful football player, but he is a tremendous athlete that runs a lot, and that's why you really want him at quarterback, because he can do a lot of different things. He topped out, when he was at Carolina, he topped out his catch percentage at 56.8%. So the last 2 years, he hovered around 55, right? And you're kind of like, okay, nothing special, but he was only targeted 79 times last year, 111 before that, and only caught 63 of them. You kind of put that against Chester Rogers, who caught 73% of his balls last year. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe Chester Rogers is just really good at getting open. You jump to Andrew Luck, and his completion percentage is better than Newton's, just guaranteed every single year pretty much. And he attempted 639 throws compared to Cam Newton, who attempted 471. It's just a huge chasm between their numbers because of what kind of quarterback they truly are. If Devin Funchess wins the number 2 spot, this guy will be a diamond in the rough, and you will have to pay nothing for him.
You probably don't quite buy into Paris Campbell yet, then.
I do actually. Well,
you do, but
not fully, but I don't think
it's a rookie. Again, rookie receivers, we talked about this.
Yeah,
they're not always great.
I don't think he's a number 2, though. I think you use him in the slot. I think Funchess is a possession guy that they really don't have, and that's why I mentioned Rodgers. I think Chester Rogers could be that guy for them, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, something about Funchess,
I know.
And I should be I'm a Michigan fan. I should be a Funchess guy.
And believe me, I just said I think he's fine. I think he's good. But in that position, once again, there's a reason why they went out and got him. And
I get that. I think it's more of there's something. This isn't based in any kind of logic whatsoever. It's just I say this. I'm bored by him.
100%. 100%. Believe me, I get that.
And that's it. It's just it's an unscientific way to put it. But
at wide receiver 51, I am taking the chance. I think he's definitely undervalued.
I can see that. And all right, I get your point there. I'll go with it a little bit. I honestly, I don't see myself ever drafting him. I just don't. I'm gonna probably go Davante Parker over him.
I would take Funchess.
But I'm crazy with that Davante Parker love. I don't know. So, all right, let's go to my number 2 because my number 3 was Zay Jones. So my number 2 is going to be Mark Ingram.
Oh, well, this is easy. Mine is Mark Ingram as well.
Number 2?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's what? 23rd ranked, 22nd running back off the board. But if he's we don't know 100% how this backfield's going to shake out, like if he's going to split or anything. But if he's the guy, like in a very, at least 70% split towards Mark Ingram, how is he not going to be great? Because this is an offense, we've talked about this, that made I can't remember the guy's name. Oh my God, why Alex Collins?
Yeah. Who did get released, by the way.
Alex Collins was a thing for a little bit, and everyone was buying into the beginning of last year. Not me. Hey, remember this? Yeah, everyone, you knew it wasn't actually a thing. That offense made him a thing when he wasn't actually that good.
They made Gus Edwards a thing.
They made Gus Edwards a thing.
Who was
Buck Allen has shown signs.
Well, no, who was
Kenneth Dixon is everyone loves. Who else is there?
Probably like 3 years ago when he was a top 10 back, and oh my gosh, who was a running back? He had one great year with them.
Why am I completely just?
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. It's gonna bother me, but they do this a lot. I mean, they always are a very tough-nosed running team. And
God, Terrence West.
Was a thing.
God, yeah.
No, there's another one too that was even
That's
better.
even like they make
you go down
all
the
these
line.
guys something.
Yeah, and Mark Ingram is by far the best running back they've had since Ray Rice, who obviously.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you do have Kenneth Dixon and Gus Edwards, and they will get carries. They will take some away, but he's by far the best running back they have, and I think
Justin Forsett.
Thank you.
They make everybody a thing.
Everyone. So that's why he's number 2 for me.
They've made all the thing about every year. There's been a new guy. It's been Forsett. It's been freaking. I can't remember who else I just said. No,
that because they don't matter. Terrence West,
Forsett, West, Edwards, Collins, all these terrible running backs who have become a thing, and they actually have a talented one now.
Yeah,
man, I don't see how Mark Ingram's not good.
And a running back who can pretty much run an option.
I'm telling you, with a running quarterback, a guy who can run it just always works. Like Robert Griffin and Alfred Morris. It made Alfred Morris a thing. It was all because of Robert Griffin. It just does. And I mean, he's 23rd. That's a steal.
Oh, I'm getting him on so many of my teams, and I absolutely love it.
It's a steal.
And heaven forbid, this is assuming Lamar Jackson doesn't throw well.
Yeah.
What if he actually gets it together a little bit as he tries to take a sip of pop with the cap on?
Yeah. Hey, this is on video. No one's supposed to know that. But yeah, why would you be picking Mark? Why would you be picking Josh Jacobs ahead of Mark Ingram right now? Why? Why would you do that? I mean, God, no. I think Mark Ingram is going to be a steal. I really do. That's going to be a good pick for somebody. So, number 2 for both of us. I like that. All right, let's go with your number 1 then.
My number 1, I'm sticking with my guns on this one still. I'm going James Washington. And
you're not buying the Moncrief talk.
No,
you think it's just...
No, I'm not buying Moncrief.
Some people are.
Every year? Okay, no, I'm not.
You were once one of those guys.
I was, yeah.
2 years ago.
How many years? Yeah, that was a long... I mean, where was he before that? And Moncrief, I thought when he was on the Colts and he was coming back from injury.
We have it recorded on podcast, Jeff. I can find the episode.
Yeah, when he was on the Colts and he was coming back from injury, and then I think luck got hurt and it all fell apart. But I don't buy into it. I don't think there's a whole lot left in the tank for Moncrief. James Washington, I think, is prime for that. And I know a lot of people... I mean, even Roethlisberger has taken a huge hit in the rankings. I mean, we're kind of skeptical of where, Connor's going to go. I feel like because Antonio Brown and all of, these dark clouds that are kind of over Pittsburgh at the moment, people are just kind of like shying away. And people have never really been on board with James Washington. But if he's number 2, he's going to be great at number 48 wide receiver.
The Moncrief talk has actually helped because I expected Washington to jump up the boards, and Moncrief has helped keep that down.
Yeah. Where's Moncrief? Do you know?
Let's see here. So Washington's what, 48, and Moncrief's below him, but it's just, let's see, Moncrief is 58. So he's inching closer.
Yeah. And that's wonderful. My biggest fear is that Washington is going to have one big catch during the preseason, and then everyone's going to jump on that bandwagon.
I like that get him now, right? Yeah. That's good value. So before we get to my number one, this is like they do on those countdown shows. They go back a couple years and talk about the. Moncrief made me want to go back and listen or look at our episodes from 2 years ago. We did those like player versus player comparisons. Moncrief was his own episode. That's how much you liked him.
Oh my God.
So it was, but this is terrible. This just shows how much fantasy changes so quickly. Our episode was Dante Moncrief. You were going for him. It was Dante Moncrief versus Michael Crabtree.
Oh, when we were doing the
the little mini episodes we would do. So
they were ranked very close to one another. Yeah, we flip-flopped.
That seems like a terrible episode. Don't listen to that.
Now it does. Yeah.
And then the other one was Doug Baldwin versus DeAndre Hopkins. That was even a debate.
Well, the crazy part is a few years ago, it really was.
Like I don't know
Baldwin was a top 10 guy.
I don't even know who was on which side there. It's just that's terrible. Oh God!
Are you only saying that because you were a Baldwin guy?
I might have been, but I don't even know. This is making me look bad because, oh God, I shouldn't even say it because this is going to be really brutal.
Would you have these in notes or what?
No? I'm looking at our past episodes. So we did this debate. Oh God. No one's gonna listen to my advice anymore.
Well, it's 1 versus 1. It wasn't like
no. This is bad, Jeff. This is bad because I know what side I was on. So this is really, really bad. Like I think we're gonna lose listeners.
What is it?
I can't even. You were debating on the side of Christian McCaffrey, the rookie Christian McCaffrey at the time.
Right.
I can't even say this straight.
Was it another rookie?
No. His name was Eddie Lacy.
Oh my gosh, fat Eddie Lacy.
We actually had Eddie Lacy versus Christian.
Well, that's why you should be very, very. Dude, Green Bay always seems like you're going to get like every offensive player.
No, this was him with Seattle, I think, right?
Oh my God, even worse.
I bought into it.
Oof. Oof, woof.
Oh. But we did do a Russell Wilson versus Jameis Winston debate, and I picked Russell Wilson. He was number 1 quarterback that year. So
yeah, boom.
There we go.
Dude, that is really funny to look back.
Oh man, talking about Green Bay running backs, Aaron Jones, my number 1. So he's down to like what 17. I got to get away from Eddie Lacy. My God.
At least we were talking about McCaffrey earlier.
Oh, it's so bad. So Aaron Jones is ranked 17th right now. Early in the early ranks, I was putting him like top 10, and I kind of backed off slightly from that. But you know what? I'm back on the bandwagon. He needs to move up. He's better than right now. He's below Derrick Henry. I like him better. I feel more comfortable. I like Leonard Fournette, but I actually feel much more comfortable with Aaron Jones over Leonard Fournette.
100% agree.
I still even probably feel more comfortable with Aaron Jones over Damian Williams. As much as I like Damian Williams has a very small sample size of really. I like Damian Williams, but Aaron Jones is, I think, better. Aaron Jones, I think, is better than Marlon Mack. I think he should be ahead of all those guys, and I even think I feel more comfortable with him than Dalvin Cook even right now. Maybe Dalvin Cook, as much as I like the talent, I think there's a reason why the Vikings picked a 3rd-round running back. Possibly slightly. They needed insurance in case he could go down. Just like the Rams picked Henderson in case Gurley went down. They're all concerned.
Right.
I think Aaron Jones is going to have a really good season, and he doesn't have to me as many concerns. I don't buy Jamal Williams at all. Jamal Williams to me is a nothing. Aaron Jones is so clearly better than Jamal Williams, and we've seen it. Everyone's seen it. A lot of these other backs at least have some reason why that you have to worry, like Fournette with the injuries, Williams because he's just not done it for a long period of time. Plus, Carlos Hyde could take away something. Marlon Mack, again, I think he's a little bit safer, but not 100% sold. Cook with the injuries, so that kind of stuff. Chubb could have Kareem Hunt taken away from him at the end, but I love Jones. I think he should be higher than this. So that's why he's my number 1.
I mean, I would love to start a debate and refute, but I totally get your point. And I think he is safer than a lot of those guys you talked about who could go ahead of him, right? Marlon, Mac, I feel like him and Mac are very, very
They're similar. Yeah.
I really like Damian Williams, but you're absolutely right. And with Hyde behind him, you worry a little bit, but I really like Damian Williams is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
I almost put Damian Williams on here because for me, if someone put him at number 10, especially after they're like, he's the starter, I have no problem with that.
If he's the first sure starter, 100%, no debate, we might be undervalued.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You're just kind of holding your breath.
Yeah.
But I really do think especially with those people that had injuries. I have no issue with people taking Aaron Jones because of what he did last year and how good he looked. And that offense desperately needs a running back that can take pressure off of Aaron Rodgers. And last year, he had a 5.5 yards per average. I mean, with 8 touchdowns, and he only had 133 rushes. I mean, those numbers definitely tell a story that is very different than Jamal Williams and very different than a lot of the other running backs that are going ahead of him.
Yep. Oh, just don't hold Eddie Lacy against me.
These last two, undervalued and overvalued, I feel like they're going to change drastically when we get closer. These were very, very interesting.
Yep. And ADP is only going to change here as we get more and more people in drafts.
And we went really deep. I mean, I had so many people that I feel like we could have talked about that. It should have been like 2 or 3 spots higher, definitely. But I really like just the going so far out in left field with a lot of these, because there is quite a few guys that could be just huge add-ons to your team.
There really is. I mean, the funny thing, even at running back, like I can see even the way down the list, like I can see so many players that as of right now, the value is not there, but they could become like a season changer, like a Damian Harris. Like if Sony Michel goes down, Damian Harris, why is Damian Harris not like a guy who's going to get a bunch of carries and be great? He probably can be. There's so many guys like that down there. Like Carlos Hyde. If Damian Williams goes down, Carlos Hyde in that offense is going to be great. And he's going right now 47th. Like even that could be actually undervalued just because of where he could possibly what he could be.
I mean, it could be. I have a hard time with the.
But that's what I'm saying. Even now, they're maybe not. But there's so many potential. That's why you can see how the waiver wire is going to be so. It's so vital to everything, because like Jalen Samuels down there at 58. If Connor goes down, there's so many good players down there that these guys could really become something. So, but all right, I think I'll do it for overvalued players.
Undervalued.
Or undervalued, whatever we're talking about. I'm thrown off by Eddie Lacy, man. It threw me off.
That's why we shouldn't be looking at preseason debates that we're having.
And please don't hold it against me, everybody.
No, he was ranked. I mean, he was ranked very high.
I did say, I can pull up the clip. I did say, if he doesn't, probably in that episode, if it doesn't work out this season, he's done. He's out of the NFL completely. And he is. So I was right. I was right, actually. I'll say I was right.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, that'll do it for this week. Talk to you guys next week.